Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today's goal is to solve equations with variables on both sides. We've solved one-step equations, we've solved two-step equations, we've solved multi-step equations. Really all that's left is solving them with the variables on both sides. It's not all that much more complicated, but it is another step we need to think about when we start approaching a problem. This time around, we're going to have multiple kinds of solutions, and we're going to have multiple options for our solutions, so the first thing we need to talk about is what those are going to look like. Alright, that voice was starting to bug me, but we got three different solution types here. We have one solution, we have no solution, or we have infinitely many solutions. One solution is exactly what you guys are used to working with. It's, x equals some number. Don't care what number, really any number is applicable. This gives me one solution. No solution is when I have a situation where my variable drops out and I get something like 5 equals 3. 5 doesn't actually equal 3, so that would give me no solution. My final option is infinitely many solutions. You see, infinitely many solutions are very simple to come across. It's simply when I get a number equals itself. So for example, 4 equals 4. Or 3 equals 3. Negative 2 equals negative 2. 753 equals 753. It's really not all that complicated. All we need to do is take a look at it, don't you know? Really guys, infinitely many solutions occurs when I get a constant equals itself. Because 4 will always equal 4. It doesn't matter what variable or what value I plug in for my variables. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and start in on our first problem. Please copy this down and let's work through it and listen. Actually guys, on second thought, put your pencils down, all pencils down. I want you guys to watch what I'm doing and listen. I will give you time at the end of this problem to copy it down. First thing I'm going to do is identify all of my variables. I've got a 3r here and a negative 2r here. This is really important guys because I've got r's on both sides of my equation. So what I need to do is I need to decide which r am I going to move. And I think to myself, I just had a song pop in my head and I almost started singing it, but my singing voice really isn't good enough to publish on the internet. Anyways, I think to myself, which number is bigger? So I have a coefficient of 3 and a coefficient of negative 2, and I think to myself, which one of these is bigger? Well, 3 is most assuredly bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate that negative 2r, and I'm going to use my addition property of equality to do it. So I add 2r to both sides. Plus 2r plus 2r. Those will cancel just like always. 3r plus 2r is 5r minus 5 equals. Now this is where it starts to look a lot different than what we used to have. Because very rarely did I have a situation where one side of my equation completely disappeared. But I know negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 times anything is 0. So I get 5r minus 5 equals 0. Now I just look and I've got r in one place. Everything else is perfectly fine. So I'm going to get r by itself. Add 5 to both sides. 5r equals 5. Divide by 5, divide by 5. R equals 1. Awesome. So now I've solved my equation. What I would like you guys to do is go ahead and pause the video for as long as you need to. Copy down the problem and make sure you understand each step. Okay? Copy down the problem, make sure you understand each step. Push play when you guys are ready to move on. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Okay, and I'm going to delete those 2 marks. I don't know where they came from. So I've got 7x minus 3 equals 2x plus 9. Again, I start by looking at my coefficients. I've got 7 here, 2 here. 7, 2. Which is greater, the 7 or the 2? Obviously it's going to be 7 because 7 is the bigger number. So that tells me I'm going to eliminate the 2x. So to eliminate this 2x, I just subtract 2x from both sides. Minus 2x These two x's cancel. 7x minus 2x. 7 minus 2 is 5. X minus 3 equals 9. Alright, so now I need to solve for x. I go ahead and I add 3 to both sides. Add 3. 5x equals 12. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. X equals 12 over 5. It's pretty basic, guys. It really is. Here's what I want you to do this time. I need you to stop and think about this. And what I want you to think about is, from here to here, what did I do? From here to here, what did I do? And from here to here, what did I do? So fill in what did I do for each of these 3 arrows if you would. And then give me a second, guys, and you might want to skip this part of the video. My dogs are wrestling and I need to tell them to knock it off. Girls, enough. Alright, sorry about that. What you need to do is pause the video, look it over, fill in the 3 what happens, and when you guys are confident in your answer, share out as a group, and then move on. Press play whenever you're ready. Alright, so let's take a look. What you should have gotten is from here to here, I subtracted 2x. From here to here, it looks like I added 3. And from here to here, I divided 5. Pretty basic, guys, but it does work out for us fairly well in the end. Remember, this what happened phase, this piece that we did right here, wow, that was special. This piece that we did right here, right in here, that, guys, is actually going to work out to set us up to justify tomorrow. So make sure you're understanding that. It's pretty basic. Okay, let's move on to the next one. 7j plus 2j minus 3 equals 9j. This time what we're going to do is we're going to try this 2 different ways. Because so far I've been saying move it one way, move it the other way based off which number is bigger. This time though you don't need to do that. What I do need to do is make sure before I move anywhere that j is written only one time on each side. I know it's not done right now because I see j 3 times in the problem. So I look at my equal sign, I draw a line. On the left hand side over here I've got 2 j's, so I'm going to combine like terms. 7j plus 2j is 9j. Minus 3 equals 9j. Great. Let's go ahead and set this up. 9 and 9 are exactly the same, but this time I'm not going to worry about which one's greater because I'm not looking for the easiest way out. I'm looking to solve it 2 different ways. So this time I'm going to keep my colors the same, and I'm going to start by subtracting 9j from here and 9j from here. So I get negative 3 equals, those cancel, and I get 0. Hey guys, you can't do this one 2 ways because right here I have a constant equals a constant. Do negative 3 and 0 equal each other? Heck no. So we draw the line through the equal sign. Those are not true. And we say no real solution. That simple, guys. No real solution. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This time, let's just take a look. I've got g's on both sides, so let's subtract the 3g. They're both the same. So minus 3g, minus 3g. Those cancel, I get negative 7 equals negative 7. Hey guys, those are the exact same number. This side and this side do equal each other. The equal value holds true. All I'm going to do is write infinitely. Many solutions. Okay, you can abbreviate this as IMS for right now. I'll understand what you're saying, But you need to remember that it stands for infinitely many, because this concept of infinite means it never ends. It's never going to end. It's never going to come close to ending. And if it's never going to end and it's never going to come close to ending, then I can't list all of them. Because if I look, doesn't matter what I plug in for g. Watch this. 3 times 2 minus 7 equals 3 times 2 minus 7. 3 times 5 minus 7 equals 3 times 5 minus 7. There's no limit to what value I can plug in for this g and this g. As long as I plug in the same value, which I have to, it's kind of the rules of math, then I always get infinitely many solutions because they're always going to be true. Let's go ahead and move on to the next video real quick. This one I want you guys to do, so go ahead and pause the video for 45, well, we'll call it 3 minutes. Because here's what I want you to do. The first time, I'm going to draw in purple, I want you to move the a's from this side to that side. So this is your first time through. Your second time, you're going to move the a's from this side to this side. You should end up with the same answer both times. But I want you to try this 2 different ways, 2 different times. Make sure you're getting to the correct answer. Pause the video and push play when you're ready to move on, please. You should have ended up with a equals 24. I did that in my head, so let me double check real quick. 6a, 1a, add 12. Yeah, you're good. A equals 24. Either way you do it, but you should have had 2 different solution methods. Very important, guys, because we're going to make sure that you know how to do this in 2 different ways. You're going to have to do that for the upcoming quiz on Friday. Let's move on to the next problem. This is actually a full set of problems, and what I want you guys to do is, again, do each one of these 2 ways. The first time, move the variable, move left to right. The second time, I want you guys to move right to left. Make sure you do it 2 different ways. This time, guys, you're probably going to need more than a half sheet of paper. Do it on a full sheet of paper. This is due at the end of the group. This is definitely due at the end of the group. Make sure you do it 2 ways, each problem. As soon as you have it done, turn it into either Miss Ann or Miss Ramirez, or myself, depending on how class is running tomorrow, and make sure that you get it done. This is points. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Finish your assignment and get ready to rotate.